Let's take North Sierra Way, San Bernardino.
Welcome everyone. And we are on our way to the police department.
Turn right on North Bell Street. Then turn right on East 16th Street. Turn right on East 16th Street. In a quarter mile, turn left on North Sierra Way.
Sorry, that mount's really in the way there. Let's see if I can get a little better.
Turn left on North Sierra Way.
Jeez, any day, guys. Who was first at the intersection here? I don't know. Just keep it on this view here.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right on West 9th Street.
Do it this way. Pizza. Just got Little Caesars. Welcome everyone. We're on our way to the San Bernardino Police Department. One of the most corrupt police departments in the United States. And I'm going to be recording it. I've got all the statutes and constitutional text that says I'm allowed to videotape the police within the course of their duties. I have a 14-page complaint about what happened to me. They violated all kinds of laws and constitutional rights and everything, so we're on our way to file that complaint. I'm not going to cause any kind of disturbance. We're going to be calm and professional, and so they can't cite me with obstruction or anything like that. Looks like there's a crash or something up here. So they've got no grounds to arrest me on anything. I know they want to, and they want to stop my recording, but that's not going to happen here. There's something going on here. Look at this obstacle course here. Holy smokes. All right. Where's my chat? Oh, here. We've changed some things here. Live chat. Okay. Chat is open. If you want to ask questions, let me know if you've seen the video. My DUI checkpoint unlawful detainment. And a lot of people say, oh, you should just comply. Just do what they tell you. They still would have done all the same stuff to me. And I also have a feeling it might have been discrimination, because clearly printed on my ID says veteran, and as soon as they saw that, they escalated. So that's part of my complaint. And of course, I expect that the police will say, oh, we've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing, like they usually do. But I've got it all on video. There's clearly wrongdoing. So I'm only like
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
only like 5 minutes away from the police department, and they close at 4 o'clock. I'll get to your chat in a moment.
Turn right on West 9th Street.
Yeah, just comply and do what they say, but you don't have to. You don't have to do the DUI checkpoint stuff when they want you to do all the tricks. None of that does you any favors at all. All they're doing is trying to collect evidence to charge you
In a
with something.
quarter of a mile, turn left on North D Street.
So that's why you don't roll your window down. Oh, I smell marijuana. Oh, I smell alcohol. Oh, look, I'm looking around in your car searching for things. Oh, come on out of your vehicle and do these roadside sobriety tests. None of that does any favors to you, even if you're completely sober. They're just trying to collect evidence to charge you with something. So don't ever comply to any of that stuff. And they forced me to comply under threat of arrest. Some bogus charge that would not have stuck if I could have taken the arrest and the charge would have been dropped from the district attorney. I don't want to sit in a jail cell for a weekend, you know? So it's unconstitutional what they did to me. It's unlawful. They seized my phone. I was not under arrest. They're not supposed to seize your phone unless you're under arrest. Is it here?
Turn left on North D Street.
Complaint on Highland Sheriff. San Bernardino Police. You're an explorer with the Highland Sheriff. Thank you, thank you. Hope all goes well. It's the San Bernardino Police Department. The sheriff would be the San Bernardino Sheriff Department. It was the police department that was operating the checkpoint. Oh, I hope you do your research. I know you're I'm all for good law enforcement.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right on West 7th Street.
But and a lot of people say, well, there's a few bad apples. But what I'm finding is that there might be a few good apples, but there's a whole lot of bad apples. Because what happens is one officer is doing the wrong thing or breaking the law, and there's a cop right there, but all the other officers will...
Turn right on West 7th Street.
I can't. We'll gather around and step back, comply.
In 600 feet, turn left on West 6th Street. Then turn left on North Arrowhead Avenue.
And they don't stand up and say, what you're doing is wrong, or it's unconstitutional, or it's not legal. They never do that. Instead, they rally around the officer that's breaking the law. And it's somewhere around here. This might be it here. I don't know what this is. Is this the police department? I don't know.
Turn right on North E Street. In a quarter of a mile, turn right on West 8th Street.
I don't know where this building is. I guess I could park anywhere around here and just walk. It's right around here.
West 8th Street. Then turn right on North D Street.
See this cop? What's this cop doing? Just sitting there next to a field, doing nothing.
Turn right on North D Street. Then turn right on West 7th Street.
So I drove by 7th Street and it goes into a dead end. So that's not where I need to park. I have a feeling that parking lot that I passed earlier. Oh, here's parking right here though. I hate parking along streets because people crash into your car. Is this the police department? I have no idea. All right, let me see here. Taking your hospital to court. Oh, what's happened to your hospital? Holy moly.
In 600 feet, turn right on Northeast
Public health for
Street.
releasing you too soon
Then
and
turn
threatening
right.
security if you didn't leave. Wow. Yeah, hospitals are shady too. You could be in bad shape and they'll throw your ass out on the sidewalk when you're not able to take care of yourself. And then police will arrest you too if you don't leave. All right, let me get this phone ready. Is anyone familiar with where the police department is? Is this it? Is this the police department? Let me get my phone ready. Hold on, you guys. All right. Okay. It's hot today. It's in the 90s. Well, 87 right now, it says. So I'm very, very, very upset still. It's been over a month since this happened to me. I'm still very upset, but I got to be calm, professional, and just speak in a cordial manner to, this is a 14-page complaint that I prepared with all the laws and everything. Right to record in public places, and you can record inside I called ahead of time, and some lady answered the phone. I said, I'm going to be recording. Is that going to be an issue? So they said, no, you can't record here because it's private property. I said, no, it's not private property. It's a public building, and it's a public lobby in a public building, and I have the right to record police interactions. It's my constitutional right. And she said, well, you might be right about that, but you'll have to ask the officer when you get here. I said, no, I already know. I said, I don't expect you, the person that answers the phone, I don't expect you to know all the statutes and stuff, but I already looked it all up. But I guarantee you they're going to do everything they can to get me to not record, and they're going to California Penal Code 148, that's resisting arrest or delaying an officer, as long as you're not interfering with anything or obstructing or anything like that, you know. But you have the right to record. But there's a subsection in this penal code, subsection G, that says the fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio or video recording of a public officer or peace officer while the officer is in a public place, it's a public building, where the person taking the photograph or making the recording is in a place he or she has the right to be. Everyone has the right to go into the police department and file a complaint as part of the First Amendment too, the right to redress your government. Does not constitute in and of itself a violation of subdivision A, which is the resisting arrest, which also covers like delaying an officer or obstruction or things like that. Nor does it constitute reasonable suspicion to detain the person or probable cause to arrest the person. California Penal Code 148, subsection G. There's also another penal code, section 69, which the basic premise of that penal code says any person who attempts by means of threat or violence, the rest of it's doesn't apply because I'm not threatening or being violent in any way whatsoever, can be arrested, blah, blah, blah. But subsection B says the fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio video recording of an executive officer while the officer is in a public place, such as the public police department, or the person taking the photograph or making the recording is in a place he or she has the right to be, does not constitute in and of itself a violation of subdivision A. Then they might say, well, you're recording private conversations. You're recording, it's called a wiretapping law, which is California Penal Code 632. It's a two-party consent state, meaning that both parties of a conversation have to consent to being recorded, right? But California's two-party consent wiretap law requires all parties consent to record a private conversation. Now, conversations that occur in public places do not necessarily fall under private conversations. And interactions with officers in public or semi-public places typically don't count as private. So that's California Penal Code 632. So, and plus the First Amendment of the Constitution and Article 1, Section 2 of the California Constitution, and Senate Bill 411, the Right to Record Act. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals have ruled that privacy statutes do not prohibit the recording of conversations in public spaces. So anyway, there's all kinds of law, as you can see, that allows me to record this. So here we go. We're going to go in. And I've got my 14-page complaint. I've done lots of homework on it. It's probably going to go nowhere, but we're going to file it anyway. And there's a statute that says if they find that an officer is dishonest about an investigation or violates clearly established laws such as constitutional rights, that I am entitled to receive the public records such as body cam footage and personnel disciplinary records and stuff like that. All right, let's do it. This must be it up here. There we are.
Turn right on West 7th Street.
Hold on, guys. Let me turn that off. Okay. Okay, we got that shut off. All right, I'm just going to put it on selfie for now, just because I don't want to inadvertently record. There's other people in here. Let's check out all the signs before we go in. Deliveries, lobby hours, nothing about photography. And if there was, it would be unconstitutional. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, good luck with that. The hospital. back to the hospital right now. So I'm gonna mute right now just because there's conversation going on. I'll unmute it when I get up there. I'm here to file a complaint.
Okay. Is it against an officer?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the officer's name?
Some of them, they didn't want to give me all their names, which is against your policy.
Did you just want the complaint form, or you also wanted to talk to a supervisor as well?
Yeah, well, I want an official internal affairs investigation, so whatever that is.
Yeah, I can give you the complaint form, but if you want to speak to the watch monitor as well, you can speak to the watch monitor and let him know. And I can bring those documents to him.
Yeah.
Is that what it's regarding?
Yeah, all the information should be on there.
Okay. You can just stand to the side and then I'll just talk to him, so you can come out and talk to him.
Okay.
And give you the complaint form.
Appreciate it.
That's when I got the video, because I was able to.
Are you filming like
Yeah, so they unlawfully detained me at a DUI checkpoint. Yeah, and they seized my phone and everything. They're like, "Oh, we're recording in our body cam." They don't give you the body cam. So I called and I said, "I'm going to be coming in to record this interaction." She said, "Well, you can't do that. It's private property." I said, "It's not private property. It's a public building. It's a public lobby and a public building. It's my First Amendment right." She said, "Oh, well, you might be right about that. We can ask the officer." I said, "Well, I know it's." So I printed all the statutes, all the constitutional rights, the statutes, everything that says I can record. But anyway, yeah, they so like They pulled me out of my car, seized my phone. I was completely sober. They do eye check one. So they seized my phone, my vehicle, they handcuffed me, they threatened me with arrest, they made me do a field sobriety test I didn't consent to. And you don't have to do any of that.
They took you.
They didn't arrest me in the end, but they kept me detained for like half an hour.
And then,
The same thing.
so,
Yeah.
There's nothing that big.
and it hasn't been cut.
Yeah.
I had 10 talk
And there's that right there.
with my son. Somebody comes.
After last time, I was prosecutor, because here's the thing, I tried to talk to the management, and they're not working with me, that's suspicious, it's really suspicious, they don't want they sent me to, I had an email, my owner association.
No probable cause.
Whoever, there's like 3 of them there, and they sent me to, they said, well, they weren't even gonna bring it up in the next meeting, until I said, like, hey, bring it up in the meeting. And then, cause I care about.
Well, yeah, I emailed so many attorneys, none of them want to take it on because they said, well, to do I check one, there's so many legal challenges to it, and like, they don't,
You gotta fight for it.
yeah, so they're like, I said, oh, the case would be much more solid if I could just get that body cam footage, and they won't give it to me.
Yeah, they make
Yeah.
requested for it.
So I'm like, you need a court subpoena. And to get the subpoena, you need to file a lawsuit. And to file a lawsuit, you need an attorney. I mean, I can do it on my own, but I don't know.
Our keys, I would say like 200, that's what I made out of it. And then same thing with my cat sculpture, 200. And they were also told in the student show at Alps, San Bernardino.
Others, like that's just in California. Other states they have to give it to you. But in
And
California,
then
for
my
whatever
cat
reason,
cup,
there's.
I had a cat cup, that was a great cat dad. My ex-wife gave it to me, and she said I was a great cat dad. And then there was a South Seas.
And that's what I was did at the checkpoint. So I don't want to roll the window all the way down. I want to do the field sobriety test and everything.
Yes.
But they didn't like that, so they pulled me out of the car and handcuffed me and everything.
That's one way to fight.
So I'm doing everything I can, but without an attorney, I'm probably going to hit a bunch of roadblocks. But
Perfect. If you don't mind just staying in line and pick you up, you don't.
And then, like I said, there's other people involved because there's no tracks. And yeah, no one say like her, but it's obviously she's working with someone.
What's up, Jameson?
From the argument, the fact that there's no trademarks, there's no evidence, or there's no.
I should become the police chief.
She's working with somebody. It's impossible for a disabled person
I'm fine with
overly obese to take the mic.
good policing,
I
but
walk-
there's so much bad policing. It's terrible.
Stealing my items.
Anyway, I'm going to mute it again because
Yes,
there's
and she did it a couple times.
a conversation going on over here. So I'll unmute it when the officer comes out to speak with
Whatever
me.
it is, please help me. I can look at the picture. I can look at the picture.
Employee of the quarter, and there's no employees. No one's eligible this month or this quarter. You're violating everybody's rights, so you don't get no employees of the quarter. That is freaking hilarious. Employee of the quarter and it's blank. So if you're just tuning in, we're at the police department submitting an official complaint for the internal affairs. I'm muting it because there's someone at the window giving details of their issues, and I don't want to record any private information. So when the officer comes out to speak with me, we'll unmute it again. And they got this, I hate this thin blue line clock. They took the color red completely out of the flag. The colors of the flag have symbolism and meaning. Red symbolizes valor and courage, and they took it out to put blue. There's no blue stripes on the American flag. It's really, it's a symbol that they think the police have more rights than the citizens, and I hate that. It's a desecration of what the American flag stands for. I hate it. All right, so what's happening is I've submitted my 14-page complaint. They took it to an officer who's reviewing it. I might need to fill out another form. All the same information is already on the complaint that I submitted. And so they're reviewing all of that right now, and they're supposed to come out and speak with me. Okay, everybody in the line is gone at the moment. The guy I was speaking to earlier, he said a very similar situation where he was arrested with no probable cause. Somebody had accused him of something that wasn't true, and they didn't like he was wearing a wife beater shirt, style shirt, like a sleeveless tank. and they just arrested him, and he said, I've got camera footage that shows I didn't do what you're accusing me of, and they had no interest in looking at that. Yeah, hi. Good. Well, I submitted a complaint. I don't know if you.
I just got it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to proceed with that.
Yeah, you're good. Well, it'll get investigated.
Okay. And then is there a point of contact that I can keep?
No, they'll probably reach out to you. It would be Detective Vega, or I'm sorry, Sergeant Vega. He'll probably reach out to you, or Detective Vega.
Okay. And then how long does an investigation typically take?
I have no idea.
No. Okay.
I mean, they can take up to a year, depending on. There's a lot of dynamics in that situation. But
Right.
Yeah, it can take up to a year.
So will I be informed of like the results or like a status report or?
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will reach out to you, let you know that they've received your complaint and that it's being investigated, and then they'll probably provide you with the assigned detective's name.
Okay. And what was your name, Lieutenant Block?
Block, uh-huh.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, yeah.
Thank you. All right, here we go. What was it, Sergeant Vega? I got it on video. All right, that was nice and easy. Hey, good. Hey, thanks for your service, by the way. I heard you.
Thank you. That was
Yeah,
the first time.
yeah. Appreciate it. They won't tell you that.
No, I know, right?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see everything,
But
but
like you felt it, you could feel it.
oh yeah, they just yeah. Anyway,
Have a good day.
yeah. Have a good one. Good luck. All right, there we go. He said it could take up to a year. I was very thorough on my report, so I guess I didn't have to fill out any other forms. I was expecting him to like ask questions and stuff, or do like an interview, but he didn't. But my report included, it was very detailed. I included a link to the video so they can see the video. And I put in all the statutes, all the laws, why it was not appropriate to threaten me with an arrest. Hi, Jody. And anyway, that was pretty uneventful, wasn't it? That was I was expecting. I printed this out. They didn't even question my recording in there. I printed out everything about my right to record in a police station. They didn't even bring it up. Yeah, it was way easier. I was expecting a whole hassle. I was expecting to be threatened with arrest and everything again. But yeah, I mean, I detailed not just my United States constitutional right, but my state constitutional right, as well as all the penal codes, and why that was not an appropriate charge, what they were threatening me with. It's not a crime to refuse to roll your window all the way down. It was rolled down about 5 inches. It just has to be rolled down enough to communicate and pass your driver's license through. That's it. And then there's no law that says you have to roll it all the way down. There's also no law that says you have to do field sobriety tests. And for them to threaten me with Penal Code 148, resisting or delaying an officer, that's not an appropriate charge, because I was not resisting or delaying. I was simply asserting my rights. It's my right to not roll the window all the way down. It was rolled down what's legally required. And it's my right to not do field sobriety tests. If they want to have me exit the car and arrest me for suspicion of DUI, then I have to submit to a chemical test. And that is either a breathalyzer or a blood draw. But that's only required if you're under arrest for DUI, which I was not. But they threatened to arrest me with Penal Code 148, which is resisting arrest. How can I resist arrest if I'm not under arrest? It doesn't apply. But that's what they did to get me to do the field sobriety test. And then they performed it incorrectly. If you watch the video, he put his finger, it's supposed to be 12 to 18 inches from your face, which is about that. He was all the way over here and right in front, where I almost had to go cross-eyed to watch his finger. And then when he moved it up, he did it quickly. It's supposed to be smooth, but it's supposed to be way out here. And he's supposed to hold, I don't know if a finger is appropriate or not. He's supposed to hold an instrument like a pen or light or something like that. But he just held his finger. And it's supposed to happen outside of your car. I did not give him permission to enter or reach into my vehicle. It's a Fourth Amendment violation. And but a lot of people say, oh, well, they can do all that because you didn't comply. I did comply. I was in full compliance of the law. They have no right, without any reasonable suspicion. Now they could say what they said to me. They can say, well, your eyes look droopy. Or they could say they look watery or whatever, and that's enough for them to investigate further. Fine. You can have me exit the car and do that, but I still don't have to do it. I could be drunk as a skunk, and I still don't have to do the field sobriety test. But they can. There has to be enough for them to have enough probable cause to arrest you under suspicion of DUI. Once you're under arrest, then they can have you do the breathalyzer or the blood draw. But to get the blood draw, they need to have a warrant. So they have to call a judge or the district attorney or whoever they call, and hey, we got this guy under arrest for suspicion of DUI. Here's why we suspect him. We found empty alcohol bottles and he reeks of alcohol. Or we found whatever their explanation is. But if they just say, well, his eyes look droopy, that's not enough. He's going to say, you can't do that. Release him. And that's, but they didn't follow protocol. And it's all kinds of constitutional rights. There was no suspicion, and it has to be reasonable suspicion based upon facts that are articulable. Based upon facts, there was no facts or no that would raise suspicion enough to be able to pull me out of the car and handcuff me and do everything that they did to me. And as a result, that they delayed the. It was the officers that were delaying, not me. The officers were unnecessarily delaying the length of the detention, which there are 8 criteria for how to conduct a DUI checkpoint. One of them is your stops have to be neutral, in other words, random. And I think I was targeted because I was frustrated at the beginning. I said, officer, how much longer is this going to take? I'm trying to go somewhere. And I watched him walk up to the front, and he probably said, pull that car over. Also, I think it was discrimination because when he looked at my license, it says veteran on it. And I noticed this guy also was a veteran, and he had problems with the police, and they gave him a bad time about being a veteran. So that's discrimination. That's legal discrimination. And they immediately escalated after they saw my driver's license. They violated my Fourth Amendment by reaching into my car without consent. That's the Fourth Amendment. And they stopped my video. The most egregious part is they grabbed my phone from me and seized it and stopped it from recording. All with no probable cause or suspicion or any reason to believe I was impaired in any way. They can't do that. So what should have happened is they should have handed my license back to me, said, have a good day. And they see there's no reason to continue detaining me. And that's also one of the 8 criteria of operating a DUI checkpoint, is that it has to be as brief as necessary. Like if there's no reason to extend it, the length of the detention, they can't. Now, if they have a really good reason why they think I'm impaired and shouldn't be driving, then they can do all that stuff. And they can place me under arrest. Yeah, it's corrupt as can be. And no lawyer will take it on. I've emailed dozens of lawyers, and none of them will take it on because there's so many legal challenges. They told me, and several lawyers have told me, you're 100% right. They violated your rights. They did. But there's so many legal challenges at DUI checkpoints that the probable cause, the bar is so low for them to do anything that it's hard to fight it in court. And you have to convince, if it goes to trial, you have to convince 12 jurors that you were right And even if one of them disagrees, even if one of them says, oh, you should have just complied and rolled your window down, you'll lose the case. So they won't, none of them will take the case. But they all agree that it's not right what happened to me and my rights are violated. So I'm kind of left on my own of what I can do, and I can start by filing this complaint. This is probably as far as it's going to go legally for me. I can file what's called a tort claim, which I might send that in next. But that's kind of a demand for compensation for what happened to me because they broke the law. But 99% of the time, an attorney was telling me they just deny that. They don't do that. And this is all through the police department, you know. So they're not gonna, they're gonna protect their own interests, right? So they're not gonna say, yeah, we were wrong, you're right. They're not gonna do that. So anyway, yeah, it's corrupt. It's corrupt as can be. And I've always advocated for more police because every single night I see people just bust through red lights, speeding, driving like maniacs. I'm like, where's the police? Where's the police? But now look what happened to me. That nightmare neighbor I had, he was operating a full-on meth lab out of his apartment, and I got it all on video. So I called 911, and there were children in there, and there's violence and drugs. And I called 911, and they come. Most of the time, they wouldn't even show up. And when they did, they just stand out there. Nothing we can do. Just, you have to dispute it with your landlord. Nothing we can do. And I'm like, bullshit, I got it all on video. It's a felony, what they're doing. They're distributing drugs. Yeah, I got a ticket one time. Failure to yield to an emergency vehicle. There was an ambulance. And I was at an intersection. Imagine 2 lanes. There's 2 lanes of traffic going straight and a left turn lane, right, at an intersection. I was in the far right lane at a red light. To my left was like a Ford F-150, like this huge pickup truck. I couldn't see through the truck to the intersection. I did see an ambulance came by with his lights on, no siren, but came up on the left turn lane, and then he started a left turn, and then he went past the truck that was on my left, and I couldn't see what he was doing in the intersection. So I assumed he turned left and was proceeding down the street opposite direction from me, right? So the light turns green. I go out into the intersection only to find that the ambulance is doing some weird maneuver where this isn't the street we need to turn on. So he's like doing a U-turn like in the middle of the intersection and then starts merging back onto the road I was on. And I didn't even see him until I'm out into the intersection. So, and all of a sudden he starts honking his horn at me. So I immediately, of course, you don't stop in an intersection. You have to proceed through the intersection, pull over to the right when it's safe to do so. So that's exactly what I did. As soon as I stopped, 2 motorcycle cops pull up behind me and they give me a ticket for failure to yield. Well, I'm like, well, I tried to explain what the ambulance is. He said, doesn't matter what the ambulance is doing. You have to yield no matter what. I'm like, bullshit. No, you don't. He didn't have his siren on. So they wrote me a ticket, got thrown out of court. I was right. Got thrown out of court. Officer Acosta, also the San Bernardino Police Department. Third instance. 2 cop cars were parked on the street side by side with their lights off. Not just the lights, their headlights and everything completely off. In the middle of the street, stopped. So what's going to happen in the middle of the night, right? What's going to happen? Someone's going to turn onto that street, crash into them. And then what's going to happen? You say, oh, they're not going to say, oh, our bad, our lights were off. Sorry about that. No, they're going to pull that driver out of the car, accuse him of being drunk, arrest him, reckless driving, and all of this nonsense when it's their fault. They were parked in the middle of the street with their lights off. So I went out there. This is on my channel too. I went out there with my camera. I said, hey, your lights, why are you blocking the road with your lights off? You're going to cause a crash. And what's your name and badge number? And they didn't want to give their name and badge numbers. And I submitted a complaint about that one too. And of course, I never heard anything back about that, but I looked it up on their department policy, and there it is. They have to identify themselves. It's in their policy. And I ran into that again at this DUI checkpoint. They didn't want to identify themselves. So that's 3 times that these cops just don't know what the hell they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing. And I went to City Hall. I said, it's not that they don't know what your rights are. They don't care what your rights are. They don't care, or what the law is. They don't care. They just want you to do what they tell you. And if you don't, you're going to jail. That's their mentality. And not one of these other cops, not one of them came over and said, hey, he's right. You're violating his rights. You shouldn't do that, Sergeant. Not one of them did that. So that's why I say now, there's not just a few bad apples. There might be a few good apples if you're lucky. Because they're supposed to stand up for what's right. So you know what's going to happen. They're going to they're going to investigate this complaint, and they're going to find no wrongdoing. That's what's going to happen. We were well within our authority at a DUI checkpoint, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, the ambulance did have his lights on, but if you look at the vehicle code, it lists siren first. It lists they must have their siren and at least one red light. Siren and lights. And they gave me a ticket anyway. Because it doesn't matter, is what they told me. But anyway, I'm surprised that they saw, I think that went pretty smooth because they saw I'm recording. Number one. Number two, I know what my rights are. Number three, I called in advance and told them I knew what my rights are. I'm not far from home, but I don't know exactly where I'm at. So I'm keeping the camera rolling because a lot of times you'll file a complaint and they'll pull you. They'll look for any little thing to pull you over and give you a ticket in retaliation. So I'm quickly kind of swapping my viewpoints on police because there's so many different times I've had interactions with them and they do the wrong thing and they violate my rights. And if they're doing it to me, who I'm not breaking any laws whatsoever, just imagine how many people they're doing it to that don't stand up for their rights, that don't know what their rights are, that don't put the effort forward to file a complaint or take any action. And I broke no laws whatsoever, and I was put in the handcuffs. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad. My blood was boiling. So now, anytime I run into a cop, now I don't trust them to do the right thing, because that's at least three times. And then all the other calls of service I did when I had that drug dealing nightmare that lived next door to me, and they would come out and not do anything if they even showed up. There was even violent fights, and they had kids inside the apartment while they're doing drugs and fighting. I'm like, welfare check? Hello? Aren't you going to call CPS? Holy moly. And I had it all on video. It was unbelievable. And they wouldn't do anything. All right, I know where I'm at now. So I'm under the impression they want to do stuff, but they want to do stuff that's easy, and they try to target people like, middle income. So they're gonna lick the boots, Oh, I'm so sorry, officer. I didn't know. I have to do this. Okay. I have to do a field sobriety. Okay, whatever you say, officer. Yes, sir. That's the kind of people. Okay, we're gonna write you a ticket. That's the kind of people they go after because it's easy. They're easy targets. Drug dealers, This corner right here, they hang out here 24 hours a day. This is Baseline and Sierra. They hang out on both. See these guys on the right? Cars will pull up here, and there's always people around. They roll their window down, and there's an exchange that happens right in broad daylight, 24 hours a day. Cops just drive right past it. They do nothing about this right here. This is a major drug dealing intersection right here. And one block over too, there's this crappy looking restaurant, and they hang out here and one block over and deal drugs all day and all night. And it's so obvious, and police don't do a goddamn thing about it. And the problem that creates, oh, well, some people go, well, just make drugs legal. Okay, I get it. But what happens is it causes a big homeless problem. People are just walking around out of their freaking minds, high as can be. And all these encampments everywhere. There's a couple of the drug dealers right there. But there's encampments everywhere. And then, especially in the winter, they light fires and then buildings burn down. I got a video of a church that's been there forever, a Hispanic church, and it burned down because of a homeless encampment. Another house burned down that I've got on my channel. It was a house fire. Homeless encampment started the fire, and I ran into the homeowner, and she's like, yeah, there's this homeless encampment, and I let them kind of stay back in the alley behind my house, and I kind of let them be there, and they lit a fire, and it burned my house down. I'll let this person go. And that's because they're on drugs, and they don't want to get off the drugs, and so that's what they do to stay warm at night, and it's a big problem. And shame on the city, and maybe jail's not the answer, but there should be rehab programs. There are, but there's not enough. There's not nearly enough. There should be shelters and rehab programs and more help for these people, and some of them need permanent help, permanent housing, but leaving them out on the street doing drugs and just letting them do it is not the answer. And jail might not be the answer either, but there's got to be some sort of help for these people. But leaving them out on the street is not it. And I think jail is the answer for the dealers. These dealers should not be allowed to just stand there on the corner every day and deal drugs. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this live stream. That was pretty uneventful. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll keep you informed on what happens with the complaint. It's 90 degrees. All right, and let's see. They're never at fault. I know. Now, if we sat somewhere without lights off, whole different story. They make up their own laws. They do. It's ridiculous. Happen to you every time. Lots of bad experiences. Yep. I follow. I don't break the law. I'm on the straight and narrow, and it still happened to me. You can't trust them. They are all dirty. The system is dirty. So they're trained to treat people like that. You're a suspect. You're a perp. You must be breaking some sort of law. We're going to put you in handcuffs. That's what they're trained to do. You must be breaking some sort of law. You're some sort of criminal. You do what we say, or you're going to jail. That's what it is. All right, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you informed what happening. It looks like I'm not going to be able to do a lawsuit, unfortunately, unless something happens unexpected. But I'm just doing what I can. I really wish I could get that body cam footage. I'm trying to get it. There is a statute that says I have the rights to it when my constitutional rights are violated, but they're probably not going to give it to me despite that. But we'll see what happens. All right, so long, everybody.